what are your questions about Ewa Beach? You know, there's different aspects of Ewa Beach. Ewa Beach is a different thing here versus there versus there. People are asking, how is Ewa Beach? So as you know, we have to navigate those things when we're speaking to clients and certainly on YouTube. In this video, we're going to give you the whole spectrum, of Ewa Beach. If you're wondering, like, how is it really like, newer versus older, we're gonna try and give you a vibe for the entire Ewa Beach on this video. See, look, we're getting the shakas from the local aunties and uncles. Got the shaka. Hey guys, welcome to another video with Derek OKAHASHI. I'm moving to Hawaii, moving to Oahu. We're doing another video on Ewa Beach. In the last video, there was a lot of my face talking, and so we wanted a little less of that. Today, we're gonna show you the older part of Ewa Beach, the newer part of Ewa Beach. It's gonna be the complete tour, the ultimate guide to Ewa Beach, the ultimate tour of Ewa Beach. Right behind me, there's some people who, that pavilion is their permanent residence. I just spoke to one of the uncles recently. We shot our housing market video last week on the beach right over there, and it's beautiful. So I hadn't been down here since high school. So I brought my kids down then, like a few days later, to swim and to hang out. And then I was going to the wrong shower. Uncle was like, hey, that shower don't work, bro. You gotta use this one. Oh, thank you, uncle. Yeah, I called the plumber, but the plumber never come yet. You know, making a joke, like, this is my home, this is where I live. You know, and that's one of the things about Hawaii too. Like, a person who, this is literally where they live, there's still this like aloha, you know. He's like looking out for me and, hey, you know, saying hi to my son and whatever. Hawaii's just a different place. And so there was a guy in my high school, a good surfer, Ira. I'm getting interrupted. I want to point out, if you live in Ewa Beach, hopefully you can hear those airplanes. If you live in Ewa Beach, depending on where you are, you're gonna hear airplanes. I can't even hear myself. You're going to hear airplanes if you live in Ewa Beach. If that's a big deal for you, it might not be the right thing. Yeah, Pu'uloa Beach Park. So, as I said, I hadn't been here since high school. Honestly, in high school, this wasn't a place that you came just to cruise, right? Like, this was back in our day, before all of the newer development and gentrification of Ewa Beach. This might not be the place to hang out. I'll just leave it at that. Over here, that home is probably worth 1.6 million, at least, on the ocean. Beautiful ocean view. And one of the things about ocean views and ocean fronts is it all reef and rock in front of you? So is it usable, like swimmable water, or is it sandy? And so over here, there's some good sandy areas to swim. It's beautiful, you know. When I came down here with my kids over the weekend, this past Sunday, the demographic was a real mix of, could tell maybe a few tourists, with people who are newer to Hawaii, local people, uncle who permanently lives at that pavilion. So it was a good mix. Want to point that out. Super beautiful. Check out this beach, and then we're gonna walk right over here. So one of the things is we're at the end, like we're at the end of Fort Weaver Road. We'll pull that up on the map. We're all the way as deep as you can get into Ewa Beach. To give you an idea, there's no association around here. There's no community association or, you know, neighborhood police making sure that you don't have a dog or dogs barking, or you don't park your truck for your construction business in the grass, or like that stuff doesn't exist over here, right? There's houses and you can kind of do what you want. So we had one of the real estate agents in my office. She was like, she asked, why would someone pay $600,000, $700,000 for a house in this area when they could pay for a newer house? Some people don't want to be a part of that community with those rules, a maintenance fee, have an association telling you that your grass can only be 6 inches or lower and your bushes have to be cut. And some people don't want that lifestyle. Some people own a trucking business, a dump truck business, a construction business, and have multiple trucks that need to be parked in the yard or in the driveway or on the street, because street parking can be limited in some of the places that we're going to show you in later in this video. So there's different reasons for everything. And then I wanted to like highlight this pile of junk behind me. And then across is Ewa Beach Golf Course. I never golfed there because it's like $80-something, and I'm just starting to play golf, and I'm sticking to the cheaper courses. But I asked my father-in-law who golfs there often, and he said it's a really nice course, really nice facilities, and it just shows you the mix-up, the mash-up of Ewa Beach. This is a perfect example. We're gonna drive out of Ewa Beach, check out some different zones, and get you more dash cam footage this time. So you'll see in the dash cam footage, oh, mongoose. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, we lost it. And I didn't realize that there's an actual guard sitting in that shack, like a military guy. So my generation of surfers at Campbell High School, there was so much talent. Like my school won the NSSA championship, and Ira, one of the like Ewa Beach, I would say growing legend surfer guys from our high school time. Goofy footer, good lanky style, whatever, but he lived on that road and he would fix surfboards and stuff. I'm just driving along Fort Weaver because I wanted to show all the cars parked on the side of the road. You know, these are people that are living, you know, in these streets and don't have ample parking or whatnot. This is called Ewa Beach Road. This is an area, we'll pull it up on the map. So this is an area where there's beautiful coastal, you know, fronted lots. Obviously, with anywhere where there's coastal frontage, you know, waterfront lots or whatnot, there's a big price disparity between these, you know, newly constructed, renovated big homes or lots right on the ocean right there versus just on the other side of the street. In Ewa Beach down here, there's all these access roads to the ocean. So right there's a public right-of-way to the beach. So if you can find parking across the street right over here, you can access the beach right there. You know, maybe not be as crowded and still beautiful beaches. There's a surf spot in this area that called, you know, if the local brothers hear me telling everybody where the surf spot is, they probably won't like it. Hit me up if you surf and you're wondering about the surf spots over here, and we'll tell you privately. Access to the beach right here. We should go down one of these, yeah? So we can sneak through. Got the shaka. We're gonna get out and show you guys one of these beach access roads. I brought my surf shorts. I forgot them at the office, so maybe we'll get some swimming footage later. We parked on Ewa Beach Road, and this is one of the many accesses, and we walked down. We'll throw up which access this one actually is if you come here and you actually want to check it out, but here's the entrance to the ocean. So there's a few kids over there playing. There's one guy over there and one other guy in the ocean, but for the most part on a weekday you can come down here and be the only person on the beach or one of very few people on the beach. It varies on how accessible the water is. So take a look right here. You can see there's reef everywhere. It's low tide right now, so the seaweed, the algae, the limu, you can all see it on the reef. As the high tide comes in, all of this stuff will be covered up. Now, you got my guy over there, he found an actual sandy spot to swim. With oceanfront property, the usability of the oceanfront can really affect the price. So you could have two identical homes on this Ewa Beach stretch, depending on how they're accessed on that side, how close they are to public access. If A was right here and all these rocks are in the front and all the reef and you can barely use the ocean, versus if you went 500 yards down the beach, but it was just a huge sandy open area, maybe even it's better for surfing, who knows, then there can be a difference in value in those homes. So that's something to think about. Way off into the distance, there's Diamond Head there, Waikiki, Aloha Town, and then you get into Kalihi, Moanalua, Salt Lake, and then if you went around this turn here, there'd be Pearl Harbor. So Ewa Beach is actually really close to Pearl Harbor. We could bring it up on the map and show you. Iroquois Point, now it's called Kapilina, so that's a place where people find rentals sometimes. It used to be an old military base and military housing, and now it's called Kapilina. So when people tell me Kapilina, for a long time I was like, you mean Iroquois Point? Especially people from the mainland, they're like, what is Iroquois Point? It's Kapilina. Pro tip, when you see reef, rocks, couple of things. Reef is a living thing and you don't want to damage it. Also, there can be sea urchins. You'll hear local people say vana. You don't want to step on one of those. It'll ruin your day and maybe ruin your whole vacation or your first couple of weeks here in Hawaii. So if there's a bunch of reef like this, maybe find the sandy spot like this guy over here. If you are walking on the reef, just, you know, look around, make sure that you're not stepping on vana. And also be aware that it can be slippery. Like this right now, this is pretty slippery. So if you're not used to walking on reef, maybe don't do it. You know, watch the local people. Sometimes people are using those, what we call tubbies. So they're using like a neoprene shoe with rubber on the bottom. You know, just be careful and ease your way into Hawaii nature. We just left one of the beach accesses in Ewa Beach. There's a slang for the surf spot, but I'm not gonna, you gotta hit me up private to learn that. And this in front of us is Silva Store. This is something you're not gonna see in any other About Hawaii video. This Silva Store is just a community store for a very specific part of Ewa Beach, and they have, you know, pork hash and spam musubis, and you can get beer and drink and all that kind of stuff. Silva Store is the spot. Campbell softball champs, back, 2015 to 17. That's actually where we went to high school. Our media team behind the camera here, myself, we went to Campbell High Schools. Guarantee we know some of the people that live on the street. So in Ewa Beach, you do have some scattered apartment buildings. This is just like a 2-story one here on the right. I'm not gonna go straight to the end over there, but you can see some, maybe like some tents and some old car parts and maybe a pit bull in the yard. There's another apartment building here as we're going back onto Fort Weaver Road. And then there's some townhomes over here. So difference in the townhome and a condo, or sorry, difference between an apartment and a condo or even a townhome is in the apartment building, it's one owner. ABC Investments owns all 100 units. They rent all 100 units. With the townhomes or condos, they're individual owners. So like over here, these are individual owners. They're not apartments. But keep in mind, you know, give me a call. Hopefully I have the chance to help you guys with your real estate needs. And you see this nice brand new home, the gray floors and the white cabinets and all that stuff. That's great. But just understand that this video gives you a good representation of there's different aspects to Ewa Beach, and you want to understand, you know, where you're moving to. So this is North Road. We're going to turn right here off of Fort Weaver onto North Road, heading east. I think this is east, probably northeast, maybe north, since it's called North Road. I'm not too sure, but to Hawaii people, anyways, we don't use those terms usually anyway. Oh wow, look at that building. Yeah. T building. You saw that before?
Yeah, it's new. Well, I mean, it's new.
I mentioned it in the other Ewa Beach video, but these buildings are old. Like Campbell is an older school. I used to have that class right there, 2nd floor of old building. You start school in August, hot, one oscillating fan. And it looks like buildings are being retrofitted with air conditioning. There was a newer building back there. Good to see a decent learning environment for the kids being created, because it is hard to learn when you're doing this the whole time. As I mentioned in other videos, I've been trying to lose weight and be healthier, and I've been doing okay. I haven't lost a lot. You can comment, be honest. But I might have to sacrifice and get some food from the Manapua man for you guys. Oh, cigarette. How's it? Can I have 2 steamed, 1 fried? One fried noodle? That's it. I never come since high school over here. So I was like, what, 25 cents? Like, 3 for $1. I don't know the prices anymore.
Got me a lot more.
Yeah. I would just turn on the Hanakahi. You know, the other side of Ewa Beach, very much, you know, the focal point over there is that you're near the ocean. On this side, you're very much just in a plain. Ewa Beach was a plantation community at some point. This is just all flat, you know. It feels like Florida right now. Like I look up, there's no ocean, there's no mountains, there's no, you know, where it's not hilly at all. It's just straight flat. It's just flat over here. There's a huge cactus over there. That gives you an idea of how hot it is here, how dry it is here. I mean, I guess you could have a cactus anywhere, but Ewa Beach is definitely like the more of a desert climate compared to a lot of other places on the island. Basically, that home there was in really bad shape. I walked through it. I couldn't make sense of the numbers and the entirety of the project for me as an investor. But there is an investor who did, and I ended up having lunch with her and we talked about the project. There was a lot of termite damage. The home was in really bad shape. It looks great now. It turned out that my high school friend, he grew up in this house. So when I posted the Instagram video, he's like, hey bro, how you know about that house? And I was like, oh, I'm looking at it as an investment. And he said, I grew up in that house. And then we reconnected, started talking about it. He told me the whole backstory and he knew the people in the neighborhood. I told him that one of my concerns was that the neighbor had a pit bull or a couple pit bulls, or maybe it was Rottweilers. I think it was pit bulls though. And they're constantly barking. And so I felt like that would affect the resale value and my ability to sell it. Just an anecdote of the Hawaii area. There's another airplane driving over us right now, or sorry, flying over us right now. So we stepped out by KAIMILOA Elementary here in Ewa Beach. This is one of probably 6 elementary schools in the area, maybe more if you include different parts of Ewa, and then you go into Kapolei, there's even more. But we stepped out for one because I haven't been to around this area in a little while, and then we kept hearing airplanes, and I wanted to point out there's a car blasting the music. The airplanes are so close you can read, so that's Alaska Airlines. That's how close the airplanes are around here. It's just gonna be part of life in the area. The GoPro overheated in this Ewa Beach heat, so we had to go and reset it. We didn't mean to pull over to show you the mattress and propane tank that's on the side of the road. But what I did want to point out is the Hawaiian flag here. We'll be able to see it here as well. Beware of guard dog, will bite your ass. And then there's the Hawaiian flag there. Nothing having to do with real estate, but when you come to Hawaii, you're gonna see these flags all over. The Hawaiian flag is not the British flag, it's a different thing, but the British, occupied Hawaii. There was a time where Hawaii monarchs would go to Britain and learn their customs, and the queen or the princess would go over there. And back then you had to travel by ship. There's stories of, Princess KAILUA, and these people would go to Britain and learn customs and learn how to be regal. And Hawaiians were during that time of integration and really takeover, unfortunately, with missionaries and different people staking their claims on the Hawaiian land. But Hawaii was very invested in learning and becoming literate at the monarchy level and things of that nature. So there's a bit of a British influence here. Brother in the moped was in a hurry. We're back on Fort Weaver Road, right across from Pohakea Elementary. When I first moved to Hawaii, so I told you guys in older videos and in different neighborhood tours that, I was born on the mainland. So when I came and went to ILIMA Intermediate right over there, when I first went to school, they were like, "Oh, you talk kind of funny, One of my good friends who first took me in and was my good friend was Preston, and he used to live in that apartment building. So now ILIMA Intermediate is on our right, Papipi Road is on our left. This is really the divide between Ewa Beach that was built 50s, 60s, 70s, and the Ewa Beach that was built starting in the 90s and 2000s. We're passing Ewa Beach Elementary School on my right. So bear in mind, Ewa Beach Elementary School is zoned for part of Ocean Point, and Keone'ula Elementary School, which is a newer one, is zoned for another part of Ocean Point and Ho'akale. So your real estate agent should not be telling you exactly which school district you're in, because that's a lot of liability. I've even checked for myself when I was buying my home, and I've checked for clients in the past. When you call the school, say, "Hey, what school district is this home in that I'm going to purchase?" They look it up on the spot and tell you. And I asked the lady, I said, "Well, what about the website?" And the website where you can punch in the address and it shows you the school district. And she said, "You can't trust that website. It's not completely accurate. You need to call us." I kind of know where the divide is in Ocean Point with the different school districts and whatnot, but it's something that you should be aware of when you're buying, in Hawaii or anywhere. School districts can be a funny thing. You really need to call the couple of schools that are in question and say, "Hey, my address, 123 Main Street, which area is that in?" We just drove to the end of Papipi Road. If I go straight here, it's Haubush Beach Park. We have some old footage of that, so maybe we'll repurpose that. I'm gonna turn right, and I'm going to do my Hawaiian wear. A couple of things about this neighborhood. So over here, we have trucks parked in the grass, some tin roof mixed with shingle roof, mixed with whatever. Make sure to include this. It says nothing about the people, right? You can't make assumptions off of the age of the home or the way things look. Hawaii has, in my opinion, some of the best people in the world. Our culture, our mix of East and West, the Aloha culture, the Hawaiian culture mixed with the Japanese and the Western culture, it's a beautiful thing. And age of home and whatever, a lot of times has nothing to do with anything. So just know that this video is not a video about class or quality of people or anything like that. I just want people to be able to get a real feel for Hawaii. My clients, a lot of the time, like tomorrow we have a home inspection for a person that's never been here. We're helping them buy a home a few miles up the street. And it's important that people are able to get an objective view of the entire zip code, you know, and that's what we're aiming to do here. I just wanted to re-emphasize, this video has nothing to do with class, nothing to do with anything like that, but it just shows a different look to the different neighborhoods. Take with it and do, form your own opinions. Older over here, you see the tents in the front, maybe some vehicles that have been going for a while. I just heard a chicken that maybe disagrees with me. And then right over here, you enter Ocean Point, Ho'akele. So new homes that were being built in the 2000s. They're still developing parts of Ho'akele. The marina's coming in. There's a country club. We'll get to that. So totally different thing, different divide here. They kind of built things up to create that divide. Now whether that was the builder's intention, I don't know. But there's definitely like a alley kind of thing with like nice bushes and stuff that sorry, moped driving by, that like elevates Ocean Point, Ho'akele area from the older part. What we wanted to do here was show you the Hawaiian word for the day. So how do you say that word? 3 seconds. So that's mere ike kai. Mere ike kai. Kai is ocean, ke is like the, ke or ka is like the ocean. Mere is song. It means the ocean song. If it was mere okekai, it would be like song of the ocean. But it's not okekai, it's ikekai. So I think that translates to the ocean song. It's very evident that we entered a newer neighborhood. Now, again, I'm not saying that old versus new means anything. I'm just showing the neighborhood. So we are on KAILUA Drive. That is a harder one that could be our Hawaiian word for the day another day. The two streets that divide or kind of chop up Ocean Point, Ho'akele are Kapolei Parkway and KAILUA. Both Ho'akele and Ocean Point surrounding us here. Kupapa at Ho'akele is back there. So if you go back to the left, those homes are on certain holes of the golf course. There are townhomes on the golf course there. I guess another notable mention, in addition to KAILUA and Kapolei Parkway, there is Keone'ula, which is another main street. Keone'ula Elementary is straight across from us. We are turning left, heading probably west on Keone'ula, and we are heading towards Ho'akele Country Club. This neighborhood is pretty self-explanatory. There are multiple associations that are a part of the Ocean Point area. There are multiple little communities. So we have Spinnaker Place here on the right. That's an area of townhomes, 2 and 3 bedroom townhomes. There's a swimming pool in the middle. The 3 bedroom townhomes are around 1,050 square foot, I believe, with garages. Some have yards, some do not. There is an association here, so there are limits to how many pets you can have. Typically, most associations in Hawaii have a 3-pet limit. Now, if you have a rabbit inside or something, is anyone going to know? I didn't see or hear anything. That would be your choice. There's, you have to keep your grass cut to a certain standard, and you can't have 100 rubber slippers, flip-flops, shoes, and whatnot on the front porch and overflowing into the yard. And these are different things that exist. Yeah, landscaping rules. You probably are not allowed to have a ton of, different kind of flags. And you got your Coast Guard flag and your Oakland Raiders flag and your Hawaiian flag and your, I'm part of the whatever bike club flag. Is probably a limit to that stuff and what kind of stuff you can have, right? So, going country club. Yeah, thank you. Okay guys, we made it past the guard into the Ho'akele Country Club area. There's a really nice clubhouse. There's a swimming pool right next to the golf course. The swimming pool is here to the right. There's a concession stand, ice machines. When you go golf over here, they put ice in your golf cart in the little cooler thing. This is a hard golf course, guys. This golf course has like 130 something sand traps or something like that. There's a lot of water. I don't golf a lot, but I'm just starting, and just 2 weekends ago, my father-in-law, my brother-in-laws, they booked us a tee time and we played this course. I shot what I always shoot. I don't know what they were talking about. I shot 130. So there were guys saying like, man, hard over here. My score went up. I was like, I shot what I always shoot. So I don't know what's up with you guys. Ernie Els designed this golf course. There's a lot of Ho'akele real estate that's actually on the golf course and near the water hazards, and an amazing golf court resort community, right? If you don't like golf carts and golf balls flying at your house, and you don't want to keep your grass a certain way and people to tell you what you can do and when you can do it, then you probably are already someone who already tries to avoid associations like this. So that'll be your choice. I see the value in both, and we can help with both. We just pulled out of the country club and we're heading down towards the driving range. You can see all of this construction here on the left. So they're still building. There's grand plans to build condos that are waterfront, homes that have access, marina access for your yacht and all of those sorts of things. So a lot of people compare this to Hawaii Kai. They say it's going to be the Hawaii Kai of this side. And if you don't know what Hawaii Kai is, that's a neighborhood that we plan to do in the future. If you want to see it sooner rather than later, then just let us know. Drop a comment. So here we're stopped in front of the Ho'akele Country Club driving range. You can hit off the grass over here. I know that's a big deal for some people. They don't want to drive off of fake turf. The driving range is separate from the actual golf course. Am I saying that anyone can come down here and hit balls? Because you don't have to put your coins into the machine or anything. They just fill up the balls. I am not saying that anyone can come over here and hit balls off grass for free. Next stop, we're gonna go into a newer neighborhood built in the late 90s into the 2000s, or actually I think 2000s. It's actually a place where I spent almost 4 years after high school, before I joined the Coast Guard. Just kind of show that neighborhood as well. It's not quite as new as Ho'akele. It's a newer neighborhood, but not the newest. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. My office is actually over there to the left. We're turning right off of Fort Weaver Road onto Ke'aunui. So on the right here, this neighborhood is called Hale'akea. And on the left here are two communities called Prescott and Sonoma. This is a place where I've lived. These homes were built early 2000. So my parents bought their home in 2002, and a lot of the community was still dirt and stuff when they bought the home. It was when I just graduated high school. So that's actually my dad's home. That's where like Thai guys used to come all the time. PP from FM 100 radio station, or formerly from FM 100, he lived in that house there. And so that's how we became friends. He actually came across us in the old Ewa Beach video, so maybe we can repurpose some of that content. I just wanted to show another neighborhood other than Ocean Point and Ho'akele are built by Haseko Homes, and they're a very specific thing. One of the newer communities that is still being built here in Ewa Gentry. A lot of these communities were built by Gentry Homes. No pun intended, but the Gentry Homes really started that gentrification in the late 90s to early 2000s in these neighborhoods. We try not to do too much real estate on here, right? Like, you guys aren't coming here to be sold or to hear me talk about myself or anything. But it's a quick story. So we sold the house down the street. My client's mother is in her 90s, and COVID happened, and she was locked in a nursing home, like imprisoned, and so they had to get her out, but there was no downstairs bedroom over there. So we sold her home, and she was like, man, I really want to buy a home, but there's nothing. And we were actually able to get her one of these homes. So these are bigger homes, more square footage. We found a person who was selling their home off market, and we were able to put the deal together. She really didn't want to leave this neighborhood, and she ultimately didn't have to. She just had to move down the street. So it was a pretty cool one. And she made a great investment too. She was nervous about buying, but she's probably gained $100,000 in equity just this year, in the last 12 months. So you know what? I'm gonna shoot across, squeeze in a another neighborhood in this community. So there's Terraza, Cordabella, Las Brisas, and Tiburon. This is a, you would say entry-level single-family homes. So they are part of a CPR. So each home has its like number that almost makes it look like a condo number or something to that effect. The homes are really close together. In terms of the encroachment guidelines and whatever, Ewa Gentry definitely pushed the limits and packed in every home they could in this community. So you have, smaller yards, and the homes themselves range from, I don't know, are there 900 square foot homes? Most of the homes in here are around like 1,200 to 1,400 square foot. There's probably some smaller 900 to 1,000 square foot homes. This is a place, if you want a single family, you really don't want to be attached to anyone. There is a swimming pool as a part of this community. So the pool was down for months. So we had buyers that would look at this community and they're like, well, when is the pool going to be working? And the association didn't really have an answer. But it's back up, so that's cool. The elementary school that's closest to here is HOLOMUA. HOLOMUA, shout out to Ryan, my client, who's the technology guy there. That's actually what they're known for. They just received an award for something technology recently. It's also a track school. So there's like 3 different tracks, year-round school, which is kind of a different thing. There's only a few of those on the island. Okay guys, that was another video with Derek OKAHASHI on moving to Hawaii. This video was on Ewa Beach, so we showed the old, the new, the different aspects, different faces of Ewa Beach. Ewa Beach is a neighborhood that a lot of people ask about, probably the most common neighborhood that we get asked about because there's more square footage, there are more homes, more inventory. We did another Ewa Beach video that showed all of Ewa and all of Ewa Beach. That one was a lot more of me talking. This one we wanted to make sure to show you the lay of the land, street view while we're driving, all of those sorts of things, some really good drone footage. We're trying to improve our videos every week for you guys. So let us know if you like this one better. Let us know what you did like, what you didn't like in the comment section. Our website's below, so we look forward to connecting with as many of you as possible. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. It really helps us to grow, so we appreciate it if you do. Thank you in advance for giving us the feedback and the input and the motivation to keep bringing these videos. And with these videos, we want to know what you want to see next. So we have Hawaii Kai in the queue, we have Waianae, we have Aiea, we have multiple communities that we're looking forward to showing you guys. This was a redo of Ewa Beach because so many people want to see this community and so many people ask about this community. What are your questions about Ewa Beach? So is it Ewa Beach specifically? Is it the island specifically? If we know what questions you want answered, we're gonna make those videos, we promise. We have people that are moving next month and we have people that are moving in a year from now. So let us know where you're at, let's connect, let's chat, whether it be through comment, subscribe, like, our website, drop your info on the website and we'll connect through there. We look forward to connecting with you guys, helping some of you with real estate and just teaching everyone about Hawaii. So thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next week.